Make way for Prince Ali. That's great. I love it.
Plug in a day with David the Day.
Hello world. Welcome to episode 2 of Plug in a Day. Let's see what we get. Let's pick an instrument. 3, 2, 1, stop. Contact piano book, ethereal guitar textures. All right, let's run it up. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Piano Book is a fantastic website. It's community driven. It's basically a place to go get a bunch of free sample packs. Most of them, I would say, are probably for Contact, and probably not the free version of Contact. You probably need the full version. However, there are a lot of sample packs for Decent Sampler, which is a free plugin. So definitely check the website out, even if you don't have Contact. But the one we're looking at today is Ethereal Guitar Textures, flavorful e-bow textures on an acoustic guitar. So this one, unfortunately, is only for Contact. I'm not sure if that means full version or a free version. It's got pretty high ratings. So let's see what it can do. All right, here's the plugin, Ethereal Guitar Textures. It seems fairly simple. Doesn't seem like there's a lot to it. There's a dry knob, dry wet knob, but let's go ahead and see what it sounds like. Okay, so it might be some sort of delay on there as well. Let's go fully dry. Okay, I let go. There is still a decent amount of release on there. Let's go fully wet now and see what it sounds like. Oh yeah. It seems like it randomly adds in that string noise, which is really, really cool. Okay, great. This sounds kind of like a pad. It's got very pad quality to it. I love everything that's happening. I love the little string noises that are coming off of it. It's going to provide a lot of great texture. So let's make some chords, and then let's pick another instrument to do something on top of that. So let's get some chords first. All right, put some chords together. Just a simple little 4-chord thing going on here. Let's take a listen. Cool. Love what that's doing. Let's find another instrument. Let's go ahead and pull up our list. You can close these. All right. 3, 2, 1, stop. Contact Native Instruments, Middle East. Okay. That's going to be very interesting. Another Contact instrument. Okay. So this is one of the collections that comes with Complete, which is Native Instruments, kind of bundle of all of their instruments. It includes Contact, it includes Guitar Rig, just a bunch of different instruments and plugins. I think it's a great value for what you get. It is a little expensive. As you can see here, it's starting at, $5.99, but they have sales all the time. Every summer, they usually drop it by 50%. They usually do a summer sale, so look out for that. But this is Middle East, so what we're going to be looking for here, 25 authentic instruments, bunch of patterns as well. So I guess we're going to run in here and see what we got. We got percussion, we got melodic, and we got strings. So that is really cool. If you want to buy the Middle East collection by itself, it is only $99, but like I said, if you're going to spend that much, you might as well just save up and try to get the complete package, because you get so much more in Complete than just the one. And it does work on the free Contact player, so you wouldn't have to buy Contact if you did buy it alone. So just a heads up there. But let's go ahead. We have it here. Let's get some percussion going, Let's see what we got. Okay, so these look like they're patterns over here. And then these are the individual, these are rolls. These are different articulations for one shots. Some more rolls and flams. All right, really cool. So the red and orange here are patterns, and it looks like you can go in here and edit them. So you have full control over what these patterns do. And it looks like, okay, yeah, it looks like they have mini patterns here too. Yep, that you can assign. So let's check it out. This is C1, so. Okay, and here's number 2. Okay, here's number 3. Nice, I love it. They got some odd metering here. Let's see what that sounds like. Before we get into all the settings here, let's close this down and let's pick up the DAF or DAF. Not sure how that's pronounced, but let's check out all of the instruments here really quick. Yeah, the Dare. I love it. Darbuka. Oh yeah, this stuff is really cool. So it looks like we got four Darbukas here. All just kind of different iterations of it. The Davul. I love these. We did the frame drum already. Let's check out frame drum number 2. These just make me want to groove. They sound so cool. Oh, this almost sounds like Prince Ali. Rick. I don't know if that's how you pronounce any of these things. I'm just assuming. What about the Rick 2? There we go. It's like a tambourine kind of a thing. And then the tombak. Great. So that's all the instruments here. Let's go back to the frame drum, since that's kind of our point of reference. That's the first one we were using here. So it looks like you can sync the tempos and the patterns to your DAW's tempo. Pretty standard stuff there. It looks like you can add like groove and feel and intensity. So let's see what those do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold this down and then play with these and see if it changes on the fly. So it looks like it heavily, the more the groove goes up, it heavily accents stuff. Like turned off all the way, it's just a very simple little beat. And it gets more complicated the more you go up. I almost feel like halfway, 12 o'clock is almost the best. I think this accents a little too much and de-emphasizes the rest of the groove. So let's just keep that at 12 o'clock. And then feel. Again, I feel like it's just accenting more notes. That groove actually took things away when you turned it down, but feel seems to be just playing with kind of the dynamics of everything, or the expression. Intensity, I have a feeling, is going to do something very similar. Yeah, so intensity seems to be affecting the volume evenly across everything, whereas feel is more, it's not taking away any part of the beat, but it is accenting certain elements of the beat, whereas groove is like taking away and adding parts of the beat in general. Looks like a standard mixer with EQ. It's got the mappings here, patterns, fills, main hits, rolls, what we were going through earlier and just kind of finding out, but it's nice that it has this map here to kind of show us everything that's here. And then there's some options for what the mod wheel does, pitch bending, all this other stuff. If you have a sustain pedal, aftertouch, you can change all of this obviously to, if you want to, whoops. And then in the performance, it looks like you can adjust the tightness. Guess you can have the player be a little looser depending on how like humanized you want it. And then randomize, I'm guessing, is randomizing, again, humanizing probably the timing slightly of the patterns and the volume. The decay, obviously, standard decay. I mean, there you get the ring of the drum, and when it's off, you don't. Almost sounds like a kick drum. And then you can, looks like you can tune the drums too if you want to have them in a different area. And again, here's the fills. You can adjust how fast you want the fills going with the mod wheel. And then you have a sound preset, which I'm guessing changes the mixer and everything else. Let's do vintage and see what that sounds like. Oh yeah, that does sound like a 1970s world track of some sort. Yeah, this one, ambient, adds some reverb, it looks like. Hyped, what is that? Just a little crunchier. Let's do vintage. Maybe we can make this lo-fi. I'm gonna make my own beat here. Before I do that, actually, I just found out, I think these are the different MIDI patterns. These look like different players. That's what I'm gonna guess. It's different players that give you, so these presets are probably different patterns that you get. Yeah. So let's go to the next one. They're different different players, slightly different patterns. Or maybe they're like standard patterns and these players kind of put their own spin on it. Yeah. They're very similar patterns, I think, just looks like maybe different players put their own interpretation on them. That's cool. And some of them are in different timings. As you can see, this is 9/8, this is in 6/8. Very, and this is in 10/8. Really unique time signatures, which is common in Eastern music. So now let's go, and I'm going to make a beat. I'm going to try to make a hip-hoppy, lo-fi beat, as I normally do, but with Middle Eastern instruments, and see what we can get. It's kind of cool, actually. Let's do it. Okay, we put together a little groove with a frame drum and a DOF here. So let's take a listen and see where we're at so far. Okay, really simple pattern, nothing crazy going on right here, just an idea. But let's go back and let's see what we have in the melodic section here. Okay, let's load a new instance of the Middle East collection here. We've got ensembles. I'm curious what that sounds like. Interesting. Let's do strings. Let's see what we got there. All right, let's go to the mapping. Phrases. Oh, they got phrases here. Ooh. Oh, okay. And then they have some key switches here too, so you could slide up, trill down, whatever you need to do there. Let's see what these, are there any other presets here? Yeah, let's see what we got. That sounds very chopped up. Very Middle Eastern sounding for sure. Let's go ahead and go back to that first one. I really liked it. Let's put it on vintage. Let's get a new pattern. Call it strings. Okay, so one thing I missed is they have different scales here of, these are different, I'm assuming Middle Eastern scales. That's why it doesn't go, it's not chromatically available here for these notes. But also something I missed is you can actually pick which root note you want or what key you want the pattern to be in, the phrase to be in. So we need to pick E because that's where we're in. We're in E minor. And let's see what we get. I'm curious if we switch to something else, if that pattern will sound a little different. It does. Let's go chromatic. Okay, I like where we were the first time. So we have that dialed in. Let's see what it sounds. Let's listen and see what it sounds like. Okay, so everything's kind of off here because obviously this is in a different kind of time signature, it seems like. So I think what we can do, it's in 3/4. This is, let's try this. Okay, so it's a little choppy. I think it'll be best if we just, if we want to do strings or something, just do our own thing here. Let's go ahead and pick something chromatic so we have the full range. And let's go ahead, let's just mimic the guitar pad here. I'm curious what that sounds like. Very choppy, not a fan of that, to be honest. Okay, we mimic the pattern here. Let's look at some of these key switches. That's what I want to implement here. Okay, so one thing I noticed is these string elements, and it might be the same for the drums as well, they're not polyphonic. You can only play one note at a time, so you can't really create chordal structures out of these. So check it out, see what I mean. You can see that when I was letting go of the keys, nothing really changed. It was just playing the last note that I happened to play. So that's a little disappointing, but we were able to spice up this pattern with some of the key changes. We did some sliding up and sliding down and some trills. So this is what we have so far. Check it out. So it's still a little off feeling. That's because I have the drums in 4/4 and these strings feel like they're on some completely different wavelength of time signature. So I think what I could do to the drums is add maybe a little more swing to them. And we need some sort of like hi-hat pattern to kind of offset the kind of weird feeling between the two time signatures. But we can handle that later. I want to add some more elements to this. So I'm going to add more Middle Eastern stuff. I'm not going to walk through that. I'm just going to add it in there and I'll tell you what I did afterwards. And then we need to wrap things up with an effects plugin. So we'll do that afterwards. See you in 1 second. Okay, before we get an effects instrument, I quickly just want to run through the other melodic instruments that we have. Very cool. Yes, that's really cool. A ney, it looks like a flute. The oud. So the oud I'm actually using as the melody. So we can get to that in a second. Love that. A zaz or a zaz. Whew. It's like the start of any desert track in a video game, am I right? I love that. Cool. I'm a little sad I'm not going to get to use that. But so those are the melodic instruments. I just wanted to run through them really quick. Let's go ahead and grab an effects instrument, an effects plugin rather. 3, 2, 1, stop. FP Retro. So here's FP Retro. It's actually an RC20 clone. So if you're into the lo-fi genre, everyone's heard of RC20, but it could be a little expensive. And if you don't want to spend that much money, there is the alternative of this retro plugin by Frank Pohl. It's completely free. It's only for FL Studio, unfortunately, because it uses the Fruity Patcher plugin that comes standard with FL Studio. So he put this together. There's a whole YouTube video on it. Frank Pohl, check him out. On the FL Studio forums, he's got the patcher and everything. But also, I think really important is this video here, how to save a patcher preset. I will link that in the video below. But it's very important that you can be able to pull this up because it is in patcher and it's like, it can be somewhat of a pain to bring it up otherwise. But the way he explains it is you can now, I have it right here, you could just bring it up under your plugin list, even though it's a patcher preset basically. So let's go through this and check out what we have here. We're going to set all these down to 0 and just go through the settings. I'm going to put it on the melody here. So let's first look at noise. This is vinyl VHS noise. Oh, it looks like you could set it to vinyl, VHS, or just plain noise. So let's check out vinyl. Okay, stop. So it looks like the follow control says how much it follows the instrument while it's playing, or whatever you have this effect on. So if you want constant noise, you could just turn follow all the way down like you saw there. It's just constantly playing. Or you could turn follow up so that it actually has to follow the instrument. I like the vinyl setting. Let's put that there. Actually, I'm going to turn this off. I think I'm going to add this vinyl to the guitar pad so that we have this constant vinyl sound underneath. Normally, we just take a vinyl sample and put it under there for a lo-fi song, but you know what? Let's use it. Let's show what this can do. So we're going to turn follow down noise here. It's a really pleasing vinyl sound too. It's not overly harsh. So that's really good. Let's get back to the melody though. We're going to keep the noise off for the melody pattern. Then we have wobble here. This looks like it goes between a wow and a flutter. There's just different types of tape effects, tape simulation effects. The flutter seems to be kind of a bouncy sound. And I think the wow is more of like a pitch modulation. I mean, this is all great stuff for lo-fi sounds for sure. Let's see what we get. It's actually kind of hard to tell because I have so many slides in the melody, so these kind of pitch variations aren't coming through that well, but that's okay. It's cool to see what it could do when we crank it all the way up to 100. Okay, next is distort. Obviously going to add some sort of distortion and saturation to it. Whoa! Looks like you could do a high pass and a low pass before you add the distortion to it. Type A and type B, let's see what the difference is here. Okay, type B seems a lot more digital sounding. Maybe we could add a little crunch here, you know? And then digital, let's see what we get here. Oh, it's a bit crusher. I'm not sure what symmetry controls for a bit crusher. Okay, cool. Space, obviously this is going to add reverb, but I like that. Let's do it. Feels like it's in a room now, and you're at the other end of it. I think we might keep that. Magnetic, I'm not sure what magnetic does. Let's turn this up really quick. I think it might be some sort of like tremolo effect. Oh, it's panning back and forth. It's like a ping pong kind of a thing. Okay, that's cool. I don't think we need that, but let's get the space back. I did like the space. Got some digital. We have some crunchiness. Something I just noticed here, it looks like we have settings for the vinyl right here, what year of the vinyl we want. Let's go back to the pad and just crank that down to like the 30s and see what that sounds like. Yeah, let's do that. We can up the width here. Looks like you have also, you can EQ it. You got a high pass, low pass, and then some sort of a tone filter on there, or tone setting rather. I'm guessing that does something in the mids. But let's listen again to what we have here for the melody. And we're going to bypass it. So definitely a lot cleaner sounding without it. All right, let's review everything real quick and then listen to the final product. We've got some ethereal guitar textures. It's a pretty cool plugin. You can get it on Piano Book for free. It's pretty simple in its application, but I feel like you can get some really cool sounds out of it, especially if you start manipulating it with some effects plugins. But let's take a listen. Just a really cool pad sound. We added, obviously, some effects to it, the FP Retro. Yeah, so it sounds really cool. It's like I said, it's got a pad quality to it because it's using an EBow to do the strings here. And it has those string noises that come in every now and then. If you're looking for something clean, maybe it's not the best for you, but I think it adds a lot of texture and it's really cool. Next, we have the Native Instruments Middle East collection. Or series, Discovery series. And this had a lot of different samples with it. It had ensembles of all the instruments. It has percussion, a bunch of different Middle Eastern percussion, and also a bunch of melodic instruments, a lot of string instruments and horns and flutes and things like that from the Middle East. And then finally, for an effects plugin, we used Retro by Frank Pohl. Again, there's a link down in the description that shows you how to set up a patcher preset as a plugin so that it shows up in your plugin list. Yeah, this is really cool. If you can't afford RC20 and you're looking for a low-cost alternative, this is it because it's 100% free if you use FL Studio. If you don't use FL Studio, I'm sure there's other free RC20 alternatives out there for you. But if you use FL Studio, this is for you. And that's it. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the final product. Again, these are all just ideas. They're not fully fleshed out. They're not mixed properly. We're just kind of throwing ideas at the wall, seeing what sticks, something we can come back to later. But with that being said, here's the final product. All right, that's it. Like I said, just an idea. There's a lot more we can add to it and a lot more to tweak, but there it is. That's episode 2. Peace. All right, let's do it. Hell yeah, brother.